the past few weeks we did a couple of in-depth marriage trainings, and I felt that for the group it's good to also have a training which sort of brings things together in a concise way, in a simple way. I'm going to try my best, all right, to do simple. So let's get right into some marriage basic fundamental principles which are absolutely life-changing if you want to create or recapture your wife's heart and have real passion, real connection, real intimacy, a real emotional connection, and get out of the endless spiral of going up and down in the relationship. This training is going to be really basic, okay? There are 4 steps. When we talk about marriage basics, the fundamental principles of building and keeping an amazing marriage, there are 4 principles. Number 1, to diagnose if you have marriage cancer or not. Some marriages have marriage cancer, some don't. So ask yourself as you're watching this video, does it relate to you? Do you have marriage cancer or not? Because the strategy you use if you have marriage cancer is very, very different than if you don't. For example, should you involve your wife in the process of working on the marriage? Well, if you don't have marriage cancer, you could and should involve your wife. If you do have marriage cancer, not only you shouldn't, but it's actually going to make your problems worse. It's going to cause more challenges in your marriage if you try to involve her in the process. And the reason why marriage counseling almost always fails is because of this diagnosing mistake. They don't understand what marriage cancer is, and the strategy has to match the problem. Okay? Does it make sense? Let me know in the comments. So what is marriage cancer, right? So I'm going to give you 4 different ways, 4 different really check boxes, and if you check all of these, then you have marriage cancer. And if not, you may have another problem, but it's not marriage cancer. All right? So number 1, marriage cancer means that your marriage is stuck. In other words, if you look back, not over the last month or 2, but if you look back over at least the past 3 years or more, you can see your marriage has not been getting better. It's either been getting worse, less communication, less trust, more misunderstandings, more fights, or it's just been stuck. Okay? Now, the reason why you have to look back at the past 3 years is very important. Right? Listen very carefully. Every single marriage, whether it's an okay marriage or a marriage that has marriage cancer, every single marriage has ups and downs. That's part of life. However, in an okay marriage, over time, those ups and downs end up bringing some positive benefit to the couple. The couple understand each other better. There's less misunderstandings. They learn more about each other's needs and opinions, and there's less, a miscommunication. That happens less and less. In marriage cancer, over time, the disconnect becomes more and more. The couple stays stuck. So the ups and downs are more one which indicate that there's a deeper problem. Okay, let's go specifically. Second thing, where do you see marriage cancer? Let me know if you're with me. Let me know in the comments if you relate to this. Let's go specific. Okay, general stuck means, okay, we're stuck. What does stuck mean? So an easier way to see it is when you have marriage cancer stage 4. We're going to talk about the 4 stages briefly, like I said. So we're going to try to do it quicker than usual so we can sort of be more concise. Stage 4 of marriage cancer is when your wife is not interested in working on the relationship. Like, you know for a fact, she has made it official. She's not interested in working on the marriage. Period. That's what stage 4 of marriage cancer is. Stage 3 is when a couple is separated. All right? There's a divorce process going on. There's a separation process going on. But officially, your wife might still be interested in working on the marriage or the relationship. That's stage 3. Stage 2 is, and the reason I'm going down is because it's easy to see stage 4. Stage 3. It gets a little bit harder to see 2 and even more harder to see stage 1. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, because this is really basic. You have to know this. Otherwise, you're going to end up wasting a lot of time, a lot of money sometimes, and a lot of hope working on your marriage in ways that not only they don't work, but they actually cause more frustration to yourself and to your wife. Okay? So stage 2 is when the couple has mentioned, either the husband or the wife have mentioned the possibility of a separation or divorce. The D word has come up, or the S word, separation, and could be it's an in-house separation or out-of-the-house separation. Like she has said, she wants her space, no matter what packaging and what word and whatever pop psychology she has come up with. Like, I need my space, I need to find myself. It doesn't matter. That is all a form of marriage counselor stage 2, where she wants to explore what life might be like without you around her all the time. She may still officially be working on the marriage, whatever that means, but this is stage 2. Stage 2 is when the separation, or the D word, the divorce word, has come up. All right? You guys are with me so far? Stage 1, a little trickier to see. Stage 1 is where a couple has not mentioned separation or divorce at all, certainly not in a serious way, but there is a disconnect. There is a problem connecting intimately and emotionally. The emotional connection is missing, and you cannot seem to break through. There's like a mysterious wall around her heart where either she's cold or she's hot, and there are explosions that happen in conversation, disagreements or arguments that happen when you don't even see them coming. There is a breakdown of a connection, a breakdown in communication, a breakdown in intimacy. This is stage 1. Now, regardless of what stage you're in, stuck means stuck. I'm just giving you these different 4 stages. And if you're listening to this, let me know in the comments, which stage do you feel you're at? Sometimes it's an overlap. You don't have to know the exact one, but approximately where you're up to. All right? Now, marriage cancer has another component of it, and that is that the effort you make does not work, which means either, I'll give you 4 examples, either one of these 4 examples fit into the marriage cancer framework. So either when you do what your wife wants you to do, you ask her what she wants you to do, you do her list, or she has given you a list of what she says, if you do this list, we'll be okay. You do this list and she still complains about the very same things. Or you do her list and she changes the list. How many of you guys experienced that? Let me know in the chat. Where you do what she said, what she asked, A, B, and C, whatever it is, help around the house, whatever those things are that she asked, and then she just switches the list a month or 2 later, or a couple of weeks. Another example of stuck is where she blames you for not doing it right. So you're trying to do the things that she has asked you to do, but she keeps on pointing out that you're not doing it the right way. Another example of stuck is very simple. She's just not even interested in telling you what to do. She's like, I'm not interested in working on this. Like, it's straight up. Like, you can see your effort is not working in a very, very clear way. All right? Now, regardless of what type of stuck this is, again, this is all part of marriage cancer. It's important to understand this. Because, like I said, the strategy that I'm going to lay out for you in today's video is different for marriage cancer. If you don't have marriage cancer, it's very, very, very different. But another part of marriage cancer that you got to understand is like this. Marriage cancer means marriage cancer. It means your marriage is experiencing a serious problem. You get what I'm saying? It does not mean your life is a mess. Some guys misunderstand it, right? If your marriage is a mess and your finances are a mess and you have a terrible relationship with your kids and your health is screwed up, right? If you have a bunch of problems, you may have a marriage problem, but it's not necessarily marriage cancer. And as we go through tonight's training, it's going to make more sense. Marriage cancer means that you have a job. You're more or less happy with your financial situation. You have an okay relationship with your kids. Now, this doesn't mean that your marriage is not hurting those areas. It can be sometimes that as a result of the marriage pain and disagreement between you and your wife and the disconnect, it causes some problems to your kids. That does happen. That's actually very common with marriage cancer. Or that you're experiencing stress in your work. It's hard to focus on work or in your business because of you're worried about the marriage. So that's normal. But at least you have a relatively okay, stable financial situation and you have an okay, stable relationship with your kids. Because if those parts are a problem, it indicates you don't have marriage cancer. It means you have, a deeper life issue, which is beyond the scope of what we do over here. So that is marriage cancer. How many of you guys are with me so far? Let me know in the comments. All right? So now, step 2. What happens once you diagnose marriage cancer? So the next step is to avoid the marriage cancer trap. The marriage cancer trap, the biggest marriage cancer trap, is trying to involve your wife. Where guys just try to get their wife to go to counseling, work on the relationship with them, or they'll say, honey, tell me what you want, tell me what you need, what do I have to do, how do I fix this? That is a major trap. Now, you sort of know it already if you have marriage cancer, because if you look back, and what I said in the past 10 minutes, you'll know. Like if you look back at the past 3 years, has your marriage been getting better or not? Is she stuck or not? Has your effort been helping? When you do what she wants, is it bringing her closer over time or not? If you have marriage cancer, it has not been helping. So you already know, and husbands already know in their heart that her involvement is not helping. But here is an interesting phenomenon about marriage cancer. And it's almost sad. Well, it is sad. It's humorous at the same time that men are addicted to this marriage cancer trap. They're addicted to pushing their wife, to begging her to be involved, to asking her for validation of what they're doing, to trying to get her to work on the marriage with them, even though they know in their heart it hasn't worked in the past. And myself included, when I went through marriage cancer, I made the same mistake. So I'm not making fun of it. It's a reality, okay? But you have to understand this marriage cancer trap. Why is it that you can't involve your wife in the process? And the reason why it's important to understand it, guys, is because the reason why your marriage is stuck is because your wife is stuck. So you have to understand why she's stuck. Why is it that my effort doesn't matter? Why is it that I could do what she asked me to do and it doesn't seem to make our life better? So there are 3 reasons. Number 1, easy one, is because she already believes that she did whatever she could to work on the relationship. Now, not all 3 apply in every marriage cancer. I'm going to give you all three, but even if one of these 3 apply, that is the reason why she's stuck. She believes she already invested in her heart in the relationship and that you didn't realize, or that you didn't show up, and that you showed up too late. She tried for a couple of years, which is very typical in marriage cancer, and the guy didn't match her effort, notice her effort, appreciate her effort, or, try his best. So, therefore, her heart has started to close. There's like a wall around her heart because she believes she already invested and she doesn't want to continue doing it. Now, even if you push her to work on the marriage and she agrees, she will not put her full heart into it. It is impossible. It is emotionally impossible for a woman with marriage cancer to put her full heart into it if she believes that she already tried. So she may go through the motions, which is, again, another reason why marriage counseling typically fails, because they don't pick up on the marriage cancer diagnosis, they don't pick up on the marriage cancer trap, and they try to involve the woman in the process when in her heart, in her gut, in her belief system, she believes that she already did her best. So she'll go through the motions on an external level, but her heart won't be in it. Reason number 2, why you can't involve her, or why she's stuck, because she believes that you should figure it out. It's a very common belief women have when they're in a marriage cancer situation, that you should know. You may have heard your wife say it. Let me know in the comments. Did your wife ever say, you should know, you should be the man, you're the man, you should figure it out? I don't want to explain everything to you. I don't want to have to explain everything. You should know what to do. You should know what to say. You should know how to interact. You should know how to yada, 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 add to that list. Okay? Reason number 3, because feelings are confusing. Feelings are confusing. And whenever your wife asks you to do a bunch of stuff, whatever it is that she wants in the relationship, it's not the things that she wants. She's after a certain emotion. She's after a certain feeling. Feelings could be, and there are hundreds of feelings. And feelings are confusing. They're confusing just like they're confusing to men. They're confusing to us. They're confusing to women too. Women think that if the husband does their list, or does what she, or the wife thinks that if the husband does what she wants him to do, she'll be happy. It almost always does not work. Why? Because she's not sure which feeling she's after. There are hundreds of feelings. There's feelings of love, there's feelings of appreciation, feelings of importance, feelings of connection. Go on and on. There are so many different types of feelings. And if you don't know what feeling you're chasing, well, you're not going to get it. Number 2, even if she does know what feeling she wants, She wants to feel loved. Women do not know, when men also don't know this, but women don't know how to give the exact list of what would actually make them feel loved, which is why the list keeps changing. Okay? Again, either the feelings, she doesn't know which feelings she's looking for, what I'm telling you is a bit deep, or she doesn't know how to make that happen. So again, the bottom line is, whether she believes she already invested her heart, or she believes you should figure it out, or she's confused about her feelings, which most women in a marriage situation are confused, involving her is just going to cause more confusion, more pain, more frustration. Is this making sense so far? You guys with me? I'll try to say it in the most simple way. Could you involve your wife in the process to fix your marriage? Yes. But you need 3 conditions. Number 1, she has to put her full heart into it. Number 2, she has to appreciate your effort. She can't constantly criticize everything you're doing or ignore. Number 3, she has to give you helpful information. She has to give you information that when you apply it, when you follow up on it, when you execute on that information, it actually works. It actually has a positive impact on your relationship, on your emotional connection with her. And if she can't do that, and she cannot do it when marriage cancer is present, and soon, as we go on in today's training, I'll explain to you where marriage cancer comes from. But I just want to go stage by stage, because we said we're going to talk about the basic fundamental, issues in marriage. This is what it is. She's not able, she's not emotionally capable, energetically capable to put her heart into it, to appreciate your effort, to give you helpful information if marriage cancer is present. Period. It's not possible. And again, this is the reason why counseling fails so badly, because they don't pick up, they're not aware of these things, and so they'll sort of push the woman to be involved, but there's that inner resistance that comes from her belief system, and you can't overcome it if you don't understand it. You guys are with me? Cool. Well, I see a couple dozen comments already. Yes, yeah, of course we have ways of fixing marriage cancer, but this is step by step, okay? You have to understand it first. Step 3, understanding marriage cancer. Now, this is not just about theoretically understanding marriage cancer. In fact, if you understand marriage cancer, you're going to avoid another big trap. Okay, trap number 1 is involving your wife in the process. But trap number 2 happens when you don't understand marriage cancer, and that is marriage cancer operates in a system of fundamentals and symptoms. There are the things that create the cancer, and then there's the things that bother you, right? There are things that bother you. For example, you can let me know in the comments. Feel free, right? What is bothering you about your marriage? What is bothering you about your relationship? I mean, why are you here in the Facebook group? Simple English. Why are you here? Is it a communication issue? Is it because you're separated? Is it because she says she's not interested in working on the marriage anymore? Is it because she disrespects you in front of the kids? Is it because she's cold, or she picks fights with you? What is the issue that brought you here to the Facebook group? Those are the symptoms, typically. Now, they are usually not the main problem. The main problem are the fundamentals. Okay, let me give an example. If God forbid somebody has regular cancer, what's the main problem? The tumor, right? The tumor is the problem. Now, is it true that there are other problems as well? That this person who has cancer is going to have headaches, and they may be dizzy, and they might experience pain, they may vomit? Yeah, it's also true. But what's the main problem? What's the main issue? The tumor. If you don't fix the tumor, you're going to keep having symptoms. Same thing with marriage cancer. There are different types of symptoms. One symptom might be separation. One symptom might be divorce papers. One symptom might be she has an affair. One symptom might be that there's a lack of intimacy, or the intimacy is frustrating, or she does it as a chore, or you have a communication problem, that she fights with you, or she's cold and ignores you. They are all symptoms. Now, do you have to be aware of your symptoms? Yes. Here's the trap. You have to understand marriage cancer. You cannot invest your heart, your time, your money, your effort, and your hope in symptoms, because that's the reason why you have already been staying stuck for a long time, trying to fix symptoms when you haven't fixed the fundamentals. So yes, you have to notice them, but the problem is if you focus on symptoms, you're going to be creating automatically more frustration in the relationship because you're going to be more resentful. Let's face it, if you try to work on a relationship and you're not getting the results of your effort, you're going to be more frustrated. And if you're more frustrated, you're going to be more resentful. And it's impossible to build a marriage if you have resentment. Sooner or later, that's going to bubble up. Women are not stupid. They're actually very intelligent when it comes to picking up on this. So, number 3, understand marriage cancer. Don't get stuck on symptoms. Number 4, it's the final piece. Final piece is, okay, so what do you do about it? You have to reverse marriage cancer. But in order to reverse marriage cancer, right, so step number one was diagnose marriage cancer. Number 2 was avoid the marriage cancer trap of involving her. Number 3, understand marriage cancer by not getting stuck on symptoms. Number 4 is to reverse marriage cancer. Okay, but let's be practical. How do you reverse marriage cancer? So you have to understand what feeds it. What feeds marriage cancer? How many of you guys have been thinking of this question? I mean, it's a basic question. You don't have to be a genius to think about this question. If you've been watching the past 22 minutes, this is a logical question. Okay, so I found that there are basically 5 things that feed marriage cancer. Not all marriages have all 5. If you have any one of these over a consistent period of time, over a period of 6 months or more, you probably have marriage cancer. And that's feeding the marriage cancer. And in fact, if you don't fix these issues that I'm about to list to you, then you're going to stay stuck. And she's going to stay stuck. Okay? So what are the 5 areas? Number 1, you can't figure out how to make her happy. You don't know how to decipher from what everything she's saying, what are the parts that are actually going to make her happy, and what are the parts that you're actually going to waste your time. Number 2, you cannot see problems in the relationship whenever they're small and very easy to fix. You usually notice a problem in the marriage when you get blindsided, when it explodes, when something just goes bad in a real big way, and then you realize, wow, I have a problem. But you don't actually notice the problem when it's small and easy to fix. Do you understand so far why these are fundamentals? Do you realize if you fix these issues, you wouldn't have the other symptoms? Or some of them. Do you get what I'm saying? These are fundamental issues. Fundamental issue number 3, which feeds just about every single situation of marriage cancer that I've seen, both from the men I've worked with and from the situation that I observed. Answer this question for yourself. Do you have 100% unconditional love for your wife? And if the answer is yes, then ask your question, does she absolutely feel and trust your love 100%? If she feels and trusts your love 100%, then you don't have marriage cancer. But if there is a part of your love that doesn't register on her emotional radar, so like she's sort of like, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, or I love you, but I don't feel I trust you, right? If your love that you have in your heart, if you absolutely love her, right? I'm assuming you're saying the truth. If you really do love her and your love is not registering on her emotional radar, in her heart, in her spirit, in her soul, that is definitely feeding marriage cancer. It's a fundamental issue. Once you correct that, a lot of things fall into place. Another issue, is your wife stuck with the wrong opinion of you in her head? That's marriage cancer. You cannot work on a marriage. You cannot fix a marriage. There's no point to invest in the relationship or to talk to your wife about the changes you're working on or that you're making if she has the wrong opinion of you stuck in her head. If she believes that you're never going to change, or that you're manipulating her, or that you're desperate, or that you're controlling her, or that you have an agenda, you have to address that area first. Okay? Number 5. Do you regularly give up on your needs and your opinions in order to please her, in order to calm her down, in order to de-escalate arguments or tension in the relationship? If you regularly give up on your needs and your opinions, and you're afraid to show your opinions, or you back down from your opinions, or you give up on your needs because you just know insisting on your needs won't serve you. There's just going to be more drama. If you're regularly giving up, I'm not talking about occasionally compromising. I'm talking about if you're regularly giving up on your needs, then that is definitely feeding marriage cancer. And some marriages have one of these things that feed marriage cancer. Some of them all five. Some of them have just three. But this is the key. The key to experiencing a dream relationship, a long-term dream relationship, not one with the constant ups and downs, but one where you really know each other, you really love each other, you really enjoy each other's company, communication is easy, things flow, your kids know you're in love, you enjoy spending time together, you enjoy going for walks or sitting on the couch or watching TV, going for a movie shop, just spending time together. And intimacy automatically becomes beautiful and fulfilling and exciting under that situation. In order to build that, you have to address marriage cancer. You must get to the root of what has been holding you guys back. All right, guys? God bless you. And I hope you gained a lot from today's training. All the best.